Michael Jackson and plastic surgery are often mentioned in the same breath, thanks to the countless articles and media attention devoted to his evolving appearance over the years. From rumors of lip reductions and cheek implants to eye reshaping and multiple nose surgeries, the tabloids have speculated endlessly about what changes Michael Jackson may have undergone. While the media sensationalized these reports, Jackson himself often downplayed the extent of his procedures. But what is the truth behind the decades of speculation? What plastic surgeries did Michael Jackson actually have? Let's dive into the details. Michael Jackson's journey into plastic surgery began in 1979 when, at the age of 21, he reportedly broke his nose during a dance rehearsal. With his debut solo album as an adult, Off the Wall, about to be released, Michael took the opportunity to undergo his first rhinoplasty. Beverly Hills plastic surgeon Stephen Houghlin, who was well known for working on celebrities like Elizabeth Taylor, Joan Rivers, and Ivana Trump, was Michael's chosen surgeon and would remain so for many years. Before the surgery, Michael Jackson's nose was characterized by a broad bridge and wide nostrils, with a relatively undefined tip. After the procedure, Houghlin achieved a slimmer, more defined result while preserving the natural character of Jackson's nose. However, Michael was not entirely satisfied with the outcome, citing breathing difficulties that affected his singing. As a result, in 1981, during the break between Off the Wall and his next major release, Thriller, Michael returned to Houghlin for a second rhinoplasty. Houghlin later explained that sometimes a nose can't be fully reduced in one surgery and requires a two-stage process. In this second procedure, Michael's nostrils were surgically reduced by removing skin, creating a scar around the nostril crease and resulting in a significantly narrower appearance. The tip of his nose was also refined further, making it less bulbous. Still not content with the results, and with Thriller dominating the charts, Michael underwent a third rhinoplasty in the summer of 1983. He revealed the outcome in his Say 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 music video with Paul McCartney. This time, his nostrils and nose tip were reduced even further, with the tip now as narrow as the bridge, giving his profile a slightly upturned appearance. Unfortunately, not all of Michael Jackson's surgeries were elective. On January 27, 1984, while filming a Pepsi commercial at the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles with his brothers, pyrotechnics set Michael's hair on fire, resulting in second-degree burns to his scalp and significant hair loss. In the lead-up to the 1984 Victory Tour, Michael endured a series of painful surgeries to remove scar tissue and stretch the unaffected scalp tissue in an attempt to cover the bald spot. Rare home footage, likely taken during his recovery and dance rehearsals for the upcoming tour, shows Michael wearing a surgical splint on his nose and bandages on his scalp, suggesting that he may have undergone a fourth rhinoplasty during this time. This theory is supported by Michael's appearance at his mother's birthday celebration a month later, where his nose appeared swollen, as though still healing from surgery. During the Victory Tour, it was clear from Michael's side profile that his nose tip had been further refined, now appearing unusually upturned. However, by 1986, it was evident that Michael was experiencing complications with his recently altered nose. On May 6, 1986, at a Pepsi press conference, Jackson appeared wearing sunglasses, possibly to conceal an asymmetrical and partially collapsed nose. With upcoming commercial and music video shoots, Michael was photographed wearing a surgical mask for the first time in the following month. In July, at the funeral of Vincent Minnelli, photographers noticed not only changes to his nose, but also the addition of a Kirk Douglas-style chin dimple. His jawline's new appearance was later confirmed to have been achieved through an implant, as noted in his autopsy report, which found 2 incision marks on the bottom of his chin. After the release of his Bad album in 1987, Michael's new look made him a frequent target of the media, with sensational stories about his plastic surgeries becoming tabloid staples. Years of touring and promoting left Jackson with little time for further cosmetic alterations. On September 14, 1990, when Michael received the first ever Michael Jackson Good Scout Humanitarian Award in Los Angeles, he appeared with sunglasses again, possibly to hide ongoing complications with his nose, which appeared unnaturally pinched and still in a state of collapse. It's likely that Michael underwent multiple surgeries to address these issues, but these procedures were more for medical reasons than cosmetic ones. Another persistent issue that Michael Jackson sought treatment for well into the 1990s was his scalp. After the unsuccessful surgeries following the 1984 Pepsi accident, Michael opted for a more radical approach in hopes of finally eliminating his need for wigs and hairpieces to cover the bald spot caused by the burn scars. The treatment he pursued involved a tissue expander procedure, which consisted of inserting small balloons under the skin around the scarred area. Over time, these balloons were gradually inflated to stretch the surrounding skin. The goal was to eventually use the expanded skin to cover the bald spot by cutting away the scar tissue and stitching the healthy skin together. Because this process was so visibly altering, Michael was rarely seen in public without a hat during the spring of 1993 when the treatment was underway. For 2 months, he was constantly photographed wearing his iconic fedora. As part of Jordan Chandler's testimony during the legal proceedings against Jackson, he mentioned how Michael always wore his fedora, even sleeping with it on, which Chandler found odd. Sadly, the surgery did not achieve the desired results, and Michael Jackson continued to rely on wigs and semi-permanent tattoos to conceal his hairline. By the time he released his album Invincible in 2001, Michael was once again facing significant issues with his nose. Distrustful of doctors after so many unsuccessful surgeries, Michael reportedly gave up on attempting to fix his nose, which had been described by some doctors as suffering from a nasal cripple. His nose had collapsed to the point where he could no longer breathe through it, leaving him with a severely diminished nasal passage. Behind the scenes, Karen Faye, Michael's longtime makeup artist, shared that during the filming of the You Rock My World music video, it was suggested that Michael darken his skin and wear a prosthetic nose to improve his appearance on camera. When this suggestion reached Michael, he was so devastated that he lashed out, trashing his dressing room and breaking down in tears over the intense insecurities he had battled for years regarding his appearance. However, it seems that Michael Jackson eventually sought medical help to address his nasal issues. On November 13, 2002, during an appearance at the Santa Maria Superior Court, Jackson was asked by the judge to remove his surgical mask, revealing that his nose was covered in tape, likely used to reduce post-surgical swelling. Afterward, images of Jackson with the tape were widely published, with sensational headlines claiming that the tape was holding his nose together and that it would fall apart without it. In reality, Michael had undergone a successful reconstructive surgery that restored much of the structural integrity of his nose. In addition to his fear of aging, Michael Jackson became a regular client of dermatologist Arnold Klein, who specialized in dermal filler injections. Initially, Klein treated Jackson for acne and scarring caused by previous surgeries, but over time, he began using fillers and Botox to combat the signs of aging. According to Michael's autopsy report, in 2003, he decided to take a more invasive route and underwent a full facelift. Jackson debuted his new, more youthful appearance at several public events, including the BET Awards and the Radio Music Awards that year. One particular photograph from this time caused a media frenzy, with tabloids once again labeling it a plastic surgery disaster, an image that Michael reportedly grew to despise. During the final years of his life, Michael Jackson's dermatologist stated that his goal was to help rebuild Jackson's face in an effort to restore a more natural look. This included using fillers to reconstruct his nose, which had become smaller but was beginning to look more proportionate again. Restylane, a temporary tissue filler, was also injected into various areas of his face to smooth out irregularities caused by scarring, infections, and the effects of his chronic health conditions. Michael Jackson's journey through the world of plastic surgery is as complex as the man himself. So, what do you think? Did he undergo more or less surgery than you expected? And did we miss any key details? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into the lives of legends.